Hi, this is Richard. Welcome to the second tutorial. Today we're going to talk about the score editor and how to input songs on the keyboard and how to just be able to input them really simply and print them out. And then we're going to talk about the tempo, the loops, the audio, how to import movies so that you can record your own songs and fit them to movies. And then we're going to talk about volume and automation and how to change volume in time. Okay, so first thing, all I gotta do is I'm gonna pull up and record a song. Now there's two types of common ways, I would say, that people normally want to record their music. The first is just in a piano mode, so it looks like piano music, and the second is choir music. You can record your music and have it notated in any type of form. It could be drums, it could be a bass, but I think most of the common is one of those two. So for right now, we'll just show you how to do those two. Okay, so let me record a song real quick. Oh, sorry, I didn't input a song or an instrument. So here we go. So now, as we've seen in the previous tutorial, we can look at their piano roll and we can see all the notes. We can change how long they are, how short they are. We can move them up or down, left or right. So we can change them in time. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to quantize it. Now if I press N, I get the score editor, and this shows me in notation form everything that I just played. If I go to here, click on this again and click on quantize. Let's say I want to quantize the nearest eighth note, and that cleans up anything that was not an eighth note. Now there's two types of ways to quantize. You can quantize this way, and this will actually change the notes. If I go back to the piano roll and I undo what I just did, then you can see that the notes are off a little bit. If I quantize it once again, take a look at the notes and you'll see that they all shift to the nearest eighth note. So if I quantize through this method, it will actually change the physical notes. If I quantize through the score editor, let me undo it. Okay, so we have that note hanging out. If I quantize through the score editor by going here, what's really changing is the notation. The actual notes themselves haven't changed. It's just the notation. So there is a big difference. I could change this to, let's see, 4, and you'll still hear the original music. So even though the music is playing something that's not written, this was quantized to an incorrect notation format. But let me go back and I'll just quantize this to the nearest eighth note. So this is what we have. Okay. Now, when you normally record things, this is the default mode. The default mode is that you have a imaginary line on middle C, which is called C3. That's right here, right on C3, and anything above C3 or middle C goes in the treble. Anything below goes to the bass clef. Now notice that these 4 notes are D. I wanted them to be played by the tenor voice, which is in the bass clef, but they're up and they look as if they're being played by the right hand. So I want to change that. We're going to focus on the choir style first. Now choir style means that there's 4 separate voices with 4 separate stem directions. Soprano goes up, alto goes down, tenor goes up, bass goes down. So this is how we do it. Click on this style and go to piano 1, 2, 3, and 4. What this does is this allows us to assign every note on one of 4 channels. The soprano will be on the first, the alto on the second, the tenor on the third, bass on the fourth. After we do that, we click on Functions, Note Events, Assign Channels based on score split. Now what it was beforehand, it was just everything. The reason why it was all bunched up was because everything was on channel 1. When I just did that Functions, Assign Channels based on score split, it just assigned everything on either 1, let's see, assigned everything to either 1 or 3, so it kind of helps us out. So the top 2 are both on channels 1 and the bottom 2 are both on channel 3. What we want is for soprano to be on 1, alto on 2, tenor on 3, bass on 4. So we got to change the alto and the basses. The way we change them is by 6 and 7. Now when I highlight something, you can see the channel right here. When I press 7, this would move it down, up, down. So now it's on channel 2, that's great. Now the tenor's on channel 3, that's great. Now I want to change the bass to channel 4. Press number 7 and it changed to 4, and because it's on 4, it has the stem going down. Now I can highlight all the basses and say you all need to go down 1 channel. Very nice. Okay, I'll highlight all the altos. Go down to channel 2, down to channel 2, and down 2 channels. So it looks a little bit better. It looks more like a choir piece because all the stems are separate. Now, if I want to change it into a piano mode, so it looks like a piano, all I gotta do is instead of channels 1, 2, 3, and 4, I just do piano 1 and 3. So now I changed it. Whoa. Sorry, that deleted them. Let me re-record this so you can start from 0. Okay, now first thing we do is just change it to piano 1, channels 1 and 3. Then it kicks everything to the first channel, so we go functions, note events, assign channels based on score split. So now everything is either on 1 or it's on 3. That's great, except for everything that's above C3 is still in the wrong spot. So for example, these Ds, I still want them in the tenors. So right now they're on channel 1. I want to put them to channel 3. So I just press 7 twice, and now they're on channel 3. Now notice here that when these are all on channel 3 or these are all on channel 1, the stems go the same direction, and that's what a piano looks like. If you take a look at this is the actual music that I'm playing from. Notice that the top line and the bottom line, the stems go together, and that's what makes it look like it's piano music. So coming back to here, this tenor line should be down, so I'll press 7 twice, and that will change it to the tenor line. Okay, now there's another, let me undo these. There's a second way to do this, and depending on your situation, it could be a lot easier. All you gotta do is click on your secondary button, go to voice separation tool, and whenever I press command, this will pop up. So all you gotta do is enclose the notes that I want to go up or down. So like this. And voila, it's down where it should be. Let's say I want this one to go up. I want that to be in the right hand. Then it does that. So depending on how fast you can do some of these things, you can really get a lot of things done. It's very, very, very quick. Now notice that all this stuff has a lot of accidentals. That's because it thinks it's in the key of C. If I want to put it in the key of D, I just click and drag. Here are all the keys right here. Click and drag, put it in the key of D, and now we're in the key of D. If I want to do an enharmonic difference, so for example, this is D sharp. If, for example, I wanted it to be E flat instead of D sharp, I press 8 or 9, and that will change it to the enharmonic split. Okay, let me create a new song and show you just show how this whole concept works. Really, really nice. Okay, that's good enough. So first thing I want to do is I want to quantize it. So go up here, quantize to the nearest eighth note. Now that cleans everything up. If I press this button, this is the page view. That could be very, very useful because that consolidates everything just right there. Now we're in the key of D. Okay, now most of the stuff I played in my left hand. Most of the stuff that's in the bass clef I played with my right hand. And so I want to kick it up to the treble clef so it looks like it's being played by the right hand. So all I gotta do, change this. This is gonna be piano music, so it's gonna be piano 1 3, not choir, which would be 1 2 3 4. Go to piano 1 3. That kicks everything to the first channel. Go to functions, note events, assign channels based on score split. Now everything is either 1 or channel 3. Now I've got this thing set up, voice separation tool ready. So all I gotta do is press command and fire away. And the more you do this, the faster you'll get. Oops. Okay, now let me play this. Okay, that looks a lot more like what I actually played with the separation between the left hand and the right hand. So you can see that this comes in very, very handy, and you can really get a lot of speed going through with these tools. Now, just take a look at the buttons. So 6 and 7 will change those channels to one of the 4, or you can use the separation tool. 8 and 9 will change it to a different enharmonic. So instead of B flat, I can use I can do C double flat, or I can do A sharp. 5 is not. 5 is a blank button. It's nothing, and I do that for a reason, so that you don't miss, because 1 2 3 and 4, those are already assigned some numbers, so I didn't want to have conflicting numbers if you made a mistake. I don't want them to be very close to each other. So 5 is nothing. 6 and 7 will change your your channels. 8 9 will make it enharmonic. And that's how you do it. You can play this as slow as you want. You can change the tempo to be as slow as you want. And there's another one other method that I used to use. It's called it's using the letter Q and the letter W. I don't use them anymore because I've got this method, but this will move your things up and down. But as you can see, it's really it leaves like a line to go up to the next clef. So I never use it anymore, but I used to use it. So if you like the way it looks, you can try that out. But the ways that I used previously are the ways that I normally use now. There's another way that you can input notes, and that's called step input. So let me delete this. Okay, now what you got to do to get step input, go to options, step input keyboard, and click on this red button. Now usually it should be activated, but it normally doesn't. So all you gotta do is click a note, and now it's activated. Delete that and go back to being, and you're ready to go. So this works that whatever I press on the keyboard will be entered in. So let's say I go